Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in the Villains duology, I believe it's going to be, which is an adult series that looks at superpowers. So I don't know if that falls under fantasy or sci-fi or just kind of its own thing. And this book follows Victor and Eli, who are two friends in college, have to name their thesis, and Eli decides to study extraordinaries, or EOs, which is something that he believes in, even though it's kind of an urban myth, but in this world there is evidence of EOs existing. So it's like people with superpowers, and the guys end up both sort of teaming up on this and end up discovering how to create an EO, basically turning themselves into extraordinaries. You knew that from the beginning, by the way. That's not a spoiler. It's what the whole book is about. So yes, I know I should have read this book years ago. It's been sitting on my shelf, and the hype was too much. I said in my wrap up for this month that I knew I was going to like it, so it's like I didn't need to read it because I knew I was going to like it. But I'm glad I finally did read it, now that Vengeful is out in the world. So first off, I'm going to talk about the world building. As I said, it's our world, but EOs are a thing that's established, and I liked that. I like when Victoria Schwab plays an our world but tweaks it a bit. I tend to really enjoy her world building across the board, and that is like the only thing that's different in here, but it's something that was just fun that you wouldn't have to explain to anybody. Like, the EOs are a thing, people know they're a thing, there's like video evidence of them, but they're still kind of looked down on a bit. People don't quite believe, but they are established as a real possibility, at least within this world. Next, I'm going to talk about the most important thing, and that is the characters. These characters are extremely compelling. Their personalities and their interactions are the main focus of the story, and really the whole theme of what makes a villain, what makes a hero. If ordinary people were given superpowers, what would that mean for them? What could that change for them? What would people have to lose to get that kind of ability? What is the give and take of like our world, and what would happen if this was a reality? And it was realistic, I thought, and just all the characters are very compelling. I'm pulling for them from the beginning, and I find them all deeply interesting. Even the characters that I hate, even the villains that I hate, I still loved to hate. And I saw how like this, if this was a thing, would happen. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the plot. Again, very fast-paced. You're just roped in from the beginning. Victoria Schwab actually uses flashbacks in here, and sometimes flashbacks aren't effective, but in this book they are. You really get to see what is going on in the current timeline, what happened in the past with different characters. It's a third-person perspective, so you can follow all these different characters, and you're seeing their connections to one another. You're seeing their personalities both before and after they become EOs, and just the whole timeline of that and how they all are woven together, and it's so interesting. And even with those flashbacks, I found myself on the edge of my seat, even though you know characters might end up surviving something that happened in a flashback. Like, you still have this like visceral connection to them where you're like, is everything gonna be okay? Even though you know like they're existing later on in the timeline, but that's how connected you are to them and their stories, and I found that really interesting. I found the twists very clever and not predictable, and I was just wondering what was gonna happen next and didn't know how everything was gonna pan out, and it is not often that happens where I feel like I can't predict anything. So overall, I obviously really enjoyed this. This ticked a lot of my boxes for books and what I enjoy about like villains and morally gray characters and everything. So I gave Vicious 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, this was always gonna happen. So I am gonna be doing a spoilery gush on this book, obviously. So if you've read Vicious, go ahead and check that out. I will link that on the screen. So comment down below, let me know what you thought of Vicious. Please don't let me know anything about like Vengeful or anything, any hints about it, if it's better or worse or whatever. I still haven't read it yet. Give me some time. I don't want any wink face, nothing. Don't mention Vengeful in the comments. Just talk about Vicious in the comments. Thank you very much. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all you guys soon. Bye.